What's going on, guys? Coach Vic here. Welcome to the episode. Today, we're going to be talking about 3 tips to dominate your offseason and come back opening day with a vengeance. Let's get into it. Three tips are going to be helpful, but also I know that it might not be enough. You might need a little more help, a little more guidance. So what I did was I created a free off-season jumpstart guide that I want to give to you in order to really make sure that you are, again, maximizing your off-season and being able to come back bigger, better, stronger, faster than you were in the previous season. So if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description below. Or if you're listening to the podcast version on Apple or Spotify, you can head to ferrantebaseball.net/free jumpstart. Okay, tip number 1 is to reflect and set targets. Okay, it's important to reflect back on the previous season in order to establish our weaknesses, establish our flaws, and any area of improvement. Okay, once we've taken an honest look at ourselves, take the ego out of it, give yourself an honest evaluation. Or you can even go and ask your coaches, because quite honestly, we're not going to see ourselves quite the same way as we may see as we're seen by coaches. Granted, don't get me wrong, coaches can be a little bit off on their evaluations as well, but we can still utilize it as feedback. Okay. Once you've established some of these weaknesses, then we want to set targets based on those weaknesses. Okay. So, say for example, maybe you need to trim down a few pounds. Okay. Now we can set a goal body weight. Maybe we need to get stronger. Okay. Maybe we need to gain muscle. Then again, we can set a target weight that we want to achieve by the time the next season rolls around, with say 3 months or 90 days. Your targets should be exciting and difficult. Okay, they should kind of scare you a little bit. That's kind of the point, right? Is that if it doesn't scare you, then it's not a big enough goal. It's not a big enough target, and it's not exciting enough. So set exciting and difficult targets. This is going to help you stay motivated and moving towards your goals. Setting your destination helps set your direction. Without direction, we're going nowhere. Tip number 2, strategize. Okay, once you have set those targets, now we have a path, okay, that we could follow. It may not be completely clear. There's going to be some twists and turns. So when you look down that road, you're not going to see a straight line to your target. There's going to be twists and turns. There's going to be ups and downs along the way. Okay. And so in order to create that path, like, we need to be able to find a strategy that's going to work for us. So let's just use the example of gaining muscle throughout the off season. Okay, I want to put on, let's say, 5 to 10 pounds of lean muscle. Okay, we know, just with a simple Google search, you can find this information. Okay, we need more calories than we burn to gain weight. We need an adequate amount of protein in order to gain lean muscle. Okay, so just keeping it simple. So those 2 main things: calories in a surplus and enough protein to aid us in building muscle. Now, along with that, we need a quality or an effective strength training program. Okay. And so the combination of those 2 things are proven to help people gain muscle. We don't need to overthink or get too complex. It's more about, especially for somebody who is new, hasn't really had much of an off season. A lot of players nowadays play year round, which is unfortunate. They're missing and leaving out a lot of gains on the table when they're not utilizing an off season. So gaining weight, example, more calories than protein, and then figuring out what are the foods you're going to eat. Do I need a protein supplement? Can I get it all in with whole foods? Figuring out what foods or snacks that you're going to have in order to make sure that you are hitting those goals. Okay, so this all comes part of your strategy. And so without an effective strategy, you're simply working in the wrong direction, or you're not working at all. And if you're not making progress, then you're getting worse. You take a target that is kind of scary, kind of difficult, exciting, at the same time, and we break it down into a daily routine that is going to ensure that we're moving toward our target little by little. So again, back to the gaining weight example. I want to gain 5 to 10 pounds this off season. I know that every single day I need to be in a calorie surplus, or at least on average, daily average, a calorie surplus and an adequate amount of protein to help me gain that weight along with a strength program, right? If I can get my workouts in, they don't have to be every day. That's another story. Don't miss a workout. Hit your nutrition goals every single day. I know I can rest assured that I am going to be moving toward my target little by little every single day. You're not going to see the scale necessarily go up on day one or one day at a time. Over that time, you're going to start to see the scale go up. Tip number 3, I kind of already mentioned it, but it's daily execution, right? So now that we've pieced together a target, a strategy, and now we got to execute that strategy in a daily routine. Turn the daily routine into something that is easily achievable. So it's not hard to go to the gym one time. It's not hard to eat good, to count, to track your calories, your macros, eat enough protein for one day. That's not hard. The hard part is doing it day in and day out, right? So if you take one day at a time, it's easy. If you focus on one day at a time, it becomes easy, right? I should say maybe not easy, but it becomes simple, right? But then it starts to get more and more difficult when things happen. We get distracted. We don't feel good some days. Our energy is low some days. We have to do it anyway to make sure that you're moving towards your goal, okay? This is why we set a target that excites us. We also have a deadline. Right? We have a deadline with that because we have like opening day of our season. So we want to make sure that opening day, we are at tip-top shape and we've hit and crushed all of our goals. See, small daily wins chip away towards your goal. And you may not, like I said, you may not feel that progress day in and day out, but as long as you know that you're following an effective strategy, you're going to be making progress. And so what we end up using time as our ally, right? Time is not our enemy. We want to make sure that time, so set a target, strategize, execute daily over time gets you to your goals. Okay, guys, so here's the bonus tip. The bonus tip is track everything. Okay, so set your target, write it down. Okay, whether it's in your notes on your phone or on a physical with pen and paper. Okay, set your target. Write it down, write down your strategy, how you're going to get there. Okay. Ask yourself how, start thinking, brainstorming, Google, even put it in a Google search. It's better than not doing this at all. Okay. Ask your coaches, ask me if you want, reach out to me via email and I'll be glad to help you. So by tracking, it allows you to really dial in, really make sure that you're making progress. So let's just say you're going to go in a 12-week plan, which is 3 months, 90 days. You want to make sure that you are weighing yourself at least every couple days if you're going for, especially if you're trying to gain weight or lose weight. Track your food, your calories. Okay, this might seem overwhelming, but it's a really good skill that you have to learn. If you don't know how much you're taking in, how are you going to be able to make sure that you're eating enough to gain weight? Especially a lot of younger athletes, people that are hard gainers, that they don't have big appetites. You got to know how much you're taking in. This way that you can increase it or deduct if needed, depending on your goals. Okay, measurement is motivation. It helps you. If you don't know you're making progress, how are you going to stay motivated? There's nothing more satisfying than seeing progress being made towards your goal. So tracking will ensure that you're making that progress. This way, if you see that you've kind of plateaued or that your progress is going the opposite direction, then you can tweak your strategy in order to get back on track. Okay, guys, so real quick, let's recap. Setting targets. We can't hit what we can't see, okay? Number 2, strategize, okay? We have to come up with the strategy that is going to help us close the gap on where we are now to where we want to be come opening day. Number 3, daily execution. Put your strategy into an easily achievable daily routine and then execute that thing every single day to the best of your ability. If you don't. If you fail a day to achieve your goal, that doesn't matter. Just jump right back on it the next day. So if these tips were helpful for you, but you think you need a little bit more, like I need to go a little bit more into detail, then you're in luck, because I created a free off-season jumpstart guide to help you do just that. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure again to click the link in the description below to get your free off-season jumpstart. Or if you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify, you can go to ferrantebaseball.net/free jumpstart. Thanks guys, and I will see you in the next episode.